Okay, I'm going to show you how to make bird wings, and because I'm filming a whole bunch of patterns from my 50 pattern stuffed animal book, the wings are pretty much the same for the turkey and the owl and the chicken and that kind of thing. So what I wanted to do was just go ahead and do a video on wings, because you can add these wings to other things. So it just kind of opens you up. If you want to do your own version of an angel or something like that, you can add these wings in. Okay, so that's just a quick overview. So when doing these bird wings, you're going to have a wing 1 and wing 2. All right, and it's because you'll have more of a longer end and a shorter end. Okay, and I'm going to explain how this is done. Now you can E-wrap the whole thing if you want, okay, but I prefer doing knit because most of my animals are. Alright, so in my book it says to E-wrap cast on 14 pegs. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, I'm going to shove those down. And then it says the first row needs to be a knit. Okay, so I'm going to take that around. And we're going to toss the bottom loop over. And there is your knit. Okay, so you're going to do a row of knit. Okay, we've made it back to the beginning as our row of knit. Now, what it says to do is you're going to knit 2 stitches for 9 rows, and then it says to bring your cast on loops back up. But if you are going to have a hard time with that, what you can do is you can take 2 stitch markers and you can place them on the original stitch. Now I said to bring the cast on loops back up, but you may find it easier to bring your original loops back up. Okay? So what you can do is you can put these 2 in here. Alright, and this is a series of short rows, okay? Alright, so here's how this goes. It says to knit 2 for 9 rows. So here's row 1. Let's see if I can, it's a little easier. Here is row 2. Row 3. Row 4. Row 5. Row 6. Row 7. Row 8. Row 9. Then it says to bring your cast on loops up, but what we'll do is we'll bring those original loops up. So all you're going to do is you're going to pull your stitch markers back up onto the pegs. Okay, so you're just going to do that and take those off. Alright, next it says to go in and knit 2 for 7 rows. You'll see a pattern here. Knit 2 for 7 rows, knit 2 for 5 rows, knit 2 for 5 rows, and knit 2 for 3 rows. Alright, so you're seeing a shortness of rows, and what you'll find is when you do it with wing 2, you're doing the opposite. Alright, so once you have the idea of how this works, just know that you're going to do the opposite. Alright, so then it says to knit 2 for 7 rows. Okay, so here's row 1, 2, and 7. Then bring the original loops up. Okay, take those off. You're going to put them in the next 2 slot because then it says to knit 2 for 5 rows. Okay. Alright. And you're going to repeat this one twice. So you're going to repeat knit 2 for 5 rows here and knit 2 for 5 rows here. Okay. So here is row 1, 2, and 5. Bring your original loops up. Repeat the same thing we just did right here. Just go ahead and add your stitch markers. And we'll kind of speed the video footage up for this section since it's a repeat, okay? So for 5 rows. Okay, so I did our 2 for 5 rows here, and then we're going to do one more. We're going to knit 2 for 3 rows. So you're going to stick your stitch markers there. Okay. Now you can make this gradient longer. You can start with, doing 11 and then 9, and you don't have to keep it this way if you want some longer feathered ends. Okay, so we're going to knit for 3 rows. So here is row 1. Okay. And here is row 2 and row 3. Then you're going to bring your original loops back just like we've been doing. Okay. Then it says to knit 4. So then you're just going to knit over 4. And I'm going to kind of pull those up a little bit. What you should see here is there's a longer feathered area here, longer feathered area here, and here. So you should see a gradient here, okay? Again, you can E-wrap this. You don't have to knit it. I tend to knit my animals from the book, right? So you're going to knit 4. Okay. At this point, it says to knit 4 and then knit 2 together 10 times. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to knit 2 together. So here's 1 and 2 and 10. Alright, so there we have it. You knit it over 10 times. Now it says to knit rows 4 through 12. Alright, so the thing with this is, while you could just subtract it, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to count the physical row. Okay, so it has to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're going to be doing 9 rows. Alright. You can do 10 if you want. But then we're going to be doing what I call a prep decrease, which will be your 10th row, okay? So what you want to do is you want to pause the video and complete your 9 rows, alright? And then when we come back, we will do what I call a prep decrease and then a drawstring bind off, okay? So pause the video and get that much done. Okay, so we've done 9 rows. You can kind of see your edging start there. Now what it says to do next is to do a prep decrease. And there is a section in the book that shows how to do this. So what I like to do is to knit to toss that bottom loop over and then move it over. Now you think, oh, this looks like a bind off. No. You stop there. Then what you want to do is you want to knit the next 2 pegs. You're going to take that second stitch, move it back 1, toss the bottom loop over, and then move it over 1. And then you knit the next 2. This halves your stitches so that when you go in to draw string down, it's really, really smooth. It really brings it down a lot. Okay. So knit 2, take 1 back, toss the bottom loop over, and then okay, so every other peg should be empty at this point. The next thing you want to do is cut you a tail and draw string bind off. Okay. Kind of want to cut you a longer tail so that you have plenty of room to sew on. And what I like to do is go to the opposite side, toss the bottom loop over, and pull the yarn through. Okay. So then it says to draw string bind off. Alright. And I'll show you how to start the other wing, but it's basically the same after you get done with the first section. Okay. And again, you can adjust it. You can do 15 if you're just trying to create a feathered tip. Okay, you can make it more exaggerated. You can go in and do 15, 13, 11, 11, and 9 if you want. You're just trying to create a feathered tip. Okay. Alright, so we're going to pull that out. And we are going to draw string. Alright, so this is what it looks like if you don't bring the cast on loops up. You still have your cast on shine here a little bit. What you can do is you can go in and you tighten your cast on. You just go to the opposite where your tail is, pull over, and that goes in and tightens that up some. But you can also use that cast on as a way to sew it on, and that means that the little feather things will stick up a little better too. Okay. So when doing the second wing, it's really not any different. Okay. But anyway, you can see how that looks, and you can make it more exaggerated. You could add stitch patterning through the 9 rows. It's entirely up to you. It's wide open. It's mostly just giving you a gauge of being able to add a pretty feathered type wing on here. Okay, you can do the broken seed stitch with 2 colors. That'll give it its own feathered effect without, you can do a multitude of different, you could do a seed stitch, you could do a double seed stitch, trying to create that texture. There. See? So if you were to do that, you'll have created your wings. Okay. Alright, that's how simple that is. And then you can go in and sew it onto your bird. See? That's nice, simple, yet effective texturing. Okay. So let me show you how to start the second one. Right. And it's really not much different. You reverse it. Okay. So you do an E-wrap cast on, and you can do another cast on, but you need to be able to see your loops. Okay. So E-wrap cast on 14. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. I'm going to show you without using the stitch markers as it is written. I've been trying to help with some of the, because they're complicated techniques, so I've been trying to help make the techniques a little easier to handle. Okay. So you're going to knit your row. Okay. And when I tend to do it the way it was written in the book, I just go ahead and do my rows, and then I bring my cast on loops all back at once. Okay. And that's generally how I've done it in the past. Alright. So I'll show you how to do that. Alright. So with how wing 2 works, this is how it's written, wing 2. What you want to do is it says to knit 4. Now, the only thing that ever shows up different, and quit moving the camera, the only thing that ever shows up different a lot of times is row 2. So, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you remembered, you finished by knitting 4. Alright, then it says to knit 2 for 3 rows. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Then it says to bring your cast on loops up. So I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to go ahead and do the next one, and I'll show you how this is done. Then it says to knit 2 for 5 rows. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it says to do it again. So 1, 5. Then it says to knit 2 for 7. So here 1, 2, 3, 7. Then it says to knit 2 for 9. So that's right here, knit 2 and 9. Alright, so we haven't been bringing the cast on loops back up. So I found that if you've done hemmed brims, you can do this. It's really not difficult. Go in and you find your cast on loops. And you bring them back up. Okay, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. So you see, they're kind of big, easy to see. And you just go down the line and you bring them up, just like that. See? So if you've done a hemmed brim, you're basically doing that. You're bringing your cast on loops back up. But again, you can do the other method. I've been trying to show simplified ways to do these methods. It's not how it was originally written in the book, but the book can be challenging if you're really wanting to make an animal and it is on the more advanced side. I'm trying to help you be able to have a little simplistic time. So of course it says to knit 2 together 10 times and then knit 4. Then knit your 9 rows, then do a prep decrease. Then draw string bind off. So getting an idea of it was just a reverse. Alright. So that is wing 2 basically. Everything else is the same. Once you get past rows 1 and 2 and 3, everything else is the same. Okay? So, and knit 4. Alright, so there you have it. And you can see it sits a little differently when you do it that way when you bring the cast on loops. In fact, it sits out a little further when you bring the cast on loops back. Alright? But it's entirely up to you. You could E-wrap those little 2 sections. And you know what? I bet you'd get even larger ones without having to change it too much. And then go right back into knitting, okay? There is your feathered area for wing 2. Let's go ahead and finish up your wing 2, doing 9 rows, and then the prep decrease, and then a drawstring bind off. Everything else is the same. And that is how you